Where are you living right now? In a country where every morning feels like a battle against taxes, bills, gas prices, and yourself? Are you working 8, 10, even 12 hours a day just to pay rent? And at the end of the month, you check your bank account, only to find one long, heavy sigh? If that's your life, then you're surviving, not living. But listen closely now. There are places in this world where, with just $15 a day, you can have a home with space to breathe, 3 fresh meals that taste like mom made them, internet, coffee, sunsets all included, and most importantly, a brand new life. I'm not telling you this for entertainment. I'm telling you this so you can take action, so you can dare to really live just once. Don't say, I don't have enough money. You don't need a lot of money. You just need one decision. So the real question is, what do you choose? To survive in the same place, or to fully live in these 5 hidden paradises? If you're ready, let me take you there. We begin with a place where $10 can buy you a whole day of joy. Nepal. Because only when you dare to walk forward does the world finally open the path for you. Dream it. Pack it. Go. 5. Nepal. The gem beneath the Himalayas. Where every dollar turns into peace. Where even breathing feels lighter. I've traveled to many places. Some as vibrant as a Van Gogh painting, others as hectic as the pounding heart of New York City. But there was only one place, just one, that made me want to slow down and breathe. That place is Nepal. I arrived on a foggy morning. Just as the Himalayas peeked out from behind clouds like stage curtains slowly parting, the sun had barely risen, casting a soft golden hue over the ancient temples. And from somewhere in the valley, a bell chimed ding-dong, a whisper from a world that has never rushed. From the very first moment, Nepal made me feel like I had just awakened from a long sleep in America. I rented a small room in Pokhara, a city nestled beside Lake Fewa, where the water is as still as the mind of a meditating monk. The room had a balcony, an old wooden chair, and a landlady who always brewed masala tea every morning. All of this cost just $6 a night. I used to think that slow living was a privilege, but in Nepal, it's simply the norm. The cost of living here isn't just cheap, it's featherlight. A full meal of dal bhat rice, lentils, vegetables costs $1.50. A plate of fragrant momo dumplings is just 50 cents. I got around by bus for $0.20 a ride, or simply walked because the scenery on both sides of the road was too beautiful to skip. With $300, $400 a month, I could live without counting every penny, without waiting for Walmart sale days, and most importantly, I no longer felt anxious every time I opened my wallet. But Nepal's nature is what truly holds you. Some days, I woke up at 5 a.m. just to watch the Annapurna Range turn pink. Some days, I wandered through the old quarters of Bhaktapur where red bricks, dark wood, incense smoke, and the knock of window shutters formed a nameless melody from the past. And some days, I sat in silence beneath a giant Buddha statue, feeling my heart suddenly lighter. That's where I met Mr. Bob. Bob, 65 years old, American, a former accountant from Brooklyn, used to say, "Retired life in America is like Excel, too many boxes, too many formulas, but no final result." One fine day, Bob read a blog post about Nepal, and just like that, booked a flight, never looked back. Now he lives in a small house near Serenkot Hill, grows his own vegetables, raises chickens, and teaches English to the village kids. The first time he made momos, he mistook salt for sugar, turning the savory dumplings into a sweet-salty hybrid that became a village sensation. The kids call him Sweet Baba, and run to his house every morning to hear stories about Wall Street, told with such humor that even the nearby monk laughs out loud. I once asked him, "Is there anything you regret about living here?" Mr. Bob scratched his head. "Of course, the Wi-Fi here is terrible, but in return, I know the name of every dog in this neighborhood. Back in the US, I didn't even know my next-door neighbor's name. That's probably Nepal's biggest drawback, its limited infrastructure. Power can go out for a few hours each week. Water doesn't always run consistently. And if you're used to blazing 5-gram speed, Nepal will force you into mindful internet mode. But you know what? That's why people talk to each other more. Kids don't hug their iPads, they grab your hand and drag you to see temples. Adults don't complain about deadlines, they invite each other on weekend hikes. I call Nepal the gem beneath the Himalayas not because it sparkles but because it's profound. It doesn't dazzle you at first glance, but stay long enough and you'll discover every corner, every person here carries a quiet beauty, one that makes you never want to leave. And if you're wondering, could I live in Nepal like Mr. Bob? The answer is absolutely. Right now, foreigners can stay up to 150 days per year on a tourist visa, with costs starting from $30 a month. Want to stay longer? Many choose to extend their visas or shift to volunteer work, teaching, or charity helping the community while rediscovering meaning in their own lives. I came to Nepal to try living slow, but I left Nepal feeling like I had truly lived, not by the clock, but by the heart. How about you? Are you ready to leave the sofa, turn off the television, and step into a place where each morning is a quiet symphony? Do you dare to face yourself not in a mirror, but in the eyes of people who live so purely beneath the Himalayas? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where I was wrong. I'm happy to know. Subscribe to the channel now, so we can walk this amazing road together. And if you've ever been to Nepal, share the moment that made your heart go still so I know I'm not alone on this journey. Because maybe you're the next Mr. Bob. If Nepal teaches you to slow down, Sri Lanka will teach you to go deep with your heart. 4. Sri Lanka, the Amethyst Isle, where retirement becomes a long poem, where aging turns into a song. I used to think retirement was a gentle ending, some potted plants, a cup of tea, a few chapters of a book. But that was before I set foot in Sri Lanka. Before I heard the sound of waves rolling gently under the purple sunset. Before I got lost in a spice-scented market rich with curry. And before I felt my soul go quiet beside mossy, ancient temples nestled in endless green tea hills. Sri Lanka isn't a destination. It's a song slow, mellow, and gently awakening something deep within you. Have you ever dreamed of a place where every morning is a brand new painting? A place where temple bells ring like a call to return to yourself. Where I discovered that aging isn't a time to rest, it's a time to live, more vividly than ever before. I rented a little house near the shores of Gal, where moss-covered walls echo the calls of birds drifting on the ocean breeze. Just $250 a month, and I had a balcony overlooking golden sands, where fishermen haul nets at dawn and children laugh as if tomorrow doesn't exist. I lived without checking my bank account daily, without worrying about the cost of each meal. Do you remember the last time you bought food without glancing at the price tag? Here, a full plate of curry, with rice, lentils, fish, and fresh herbs, costs just $2. If you cook for yourself, you'll spend less than $200 a month for the freshest food I've ever seen. And if you're worried about the internet, guess what? A 60 megabits per second plan is just $15 a month. That's enough to video call your grandkids and post pictures that'll make your friends back home a little jealous. I used to think living comfortably at 60 was just a dream, turns out. With less than $600 a month, I had a brand new life. But money can't buy emotion, right? Sri Lanka gave that to me for free. I remember the train ride from Kandy to Ella, sitting by the wide-open window, wind rushing through my hair, watching the tea hills roll like green blankets over the mountains. There was a moment I laughed out loud because I felt like I was living inside a movie. Then came the Temple of the Tooth, where time seemed to pause, and all you could hear were bells and smell was incense. My heart suddenly felt weightless. Have you ever felt so light? You almost cried? Oh. And have you heard of Mary? She's 62, from England, a former literature teacher in London. One day, she closed her laptop, withdrew her pension, and booked a one-way ticket to Sri Lanka. Now she lives in a little house by the beach, with purple-dyed hair, and the locals call her Tuk-Tuk Queen. Why? Because one sunny morning, she decided to drive a tuk-tuk to the market. No map, no GPS, and got lost for 3 hours. Along the way, she accidentally became a tour guide for a group of German tourists, telling them stories about temples, elephants, and curry in perfect Oxford English. Eventually, the villagers invited her to eat for free because she tells the best stories. See? The life you don't plan sometimes ends up the most beautiful. Now she teaches free English classes, cooks curry for her neighbors, and says she's never felt more truly alive. So what about you? Would you dare get lost? Just once? To find a whole new path? Some people ask, is Sri Lanka really safe? I used to ask the same thing. But when you're sipping tea in a small garden and a neighbor brings you handmade coconut sweets, you realize this place isn't just safe. It makes you feel loved. I walk at night without fear. I leave my wallet on the cafe table without worry. And I sleep soundly without sleeping pills. Are you waiting for your savings account to fill up before you truly start living? Or waiting until you're old to finally go? Life won't wait for you, but Sri Lanka will. It keeps waving its tides every day, keeps sprinkling golden sunlight over tea hills, and keeps ringing its temple bells like soft invitations for those who know how to listen. So, are you listening? If your heart has skipped even a single beat, just one that's enough. Leave a message. Sri Lanka, I'm coming. And if you've already been here, don't hesitate to share a moment that made you laugh through tears or cry with joy. Because who knows, your story might inspire someone like me to pack their bags, take flight, and truly live again. 3. Nicaragua, the land of fire and sea, where retirement becomes a fiery adventure. I've traveled across continents, stood before ancient ruins, and listened to waves echo through bustling cities. But only in Nicaragua did I feel this retirement isn't when you stop. It's when you begin again with passion. Have you ever imagined living between a volcano and a peaceful beach for just $15 a day? That's why I call this place the land where fire and water embrace. The moment I set foot in Granada, a colonial city by Lake Nicaragua, wide as the sea, I knew I had entered a world both bold and serene. Yellow-red walls, intricately carved wooden doors, mango trees casting generous shade. I didn't know whether to take 100 photos or simply find a quiet corner and breathe it all in. I rented a small room right in the center, just a few steps from the main plaza, for only about $220 a month. And yes, it came with a hammock swinging lazily on the porch, perfect for midday naps. Every morning, the sweet bread vendor knocked on my door with warm banana pastries and strong black coffee, a king-size breakfast for just $1.50. In the afternoon, I wandered through local markets where people sold fried plantains, fish tacos, fresh juices, all for under $5 per meal, enough to keep me full through the evening. Each night, I joined new friends under the spell of samba or salsa drifting from roadside bars. Not glamorous, but warm, like a Nicaraguan inviting you into their home for dinner. And yes, don't forget the internet. Even a basic plan gets you 20 megabits per second, more than enough for Zoom calls with the grandkids back in the U.S., all for under $40 a month. Getting around? So easy. I wanted to build a stadium for my ankles, tuk-tuks, or taxis. Cost just $1, $2 a ride. Or you can rent long-distance buses that roll through tiny villages where every stop feels like a new story. Do you think a place where people call each other compañero instead of quoting account numbers, where Uber horns are never heard, could be your retirement? For me, Nicaragua didn't let me retire, it let me live. I met Miguel, once a blacksmith in Managua, now retired and living in San Juan del Sur, teaching tourists how to surf. He said, "Life is like the ocean, it's never completely calm, and rarely still. I choose to live right in the middle of it." He lives simply. Needing just a few dollars a day, the rest goes to the waves and his smile. Nicaragua has volcanoes that never sleep, like Momotombo, still flickering with fire beside the lake, a symbol of raw, relentless life. And there are mountain caves near Leon, plastic-free beaches perfect for surfing, and palm groves reflected in the water. One night, I lay in bed and smelled incense from a religious festival in Granada. My heart rose like a rainbow bridge in the morning rain. Every street corner, every mossy stone seemed to whisper a story. Can you feel your heart wanting to stop and listen? But don't rush to pack your bags just yet. There's one thing you should know. Nicaragua isn't politically stable. It's part of Central America, a region no stranger to unrest, and the Ortega government is known for its hard stance against opposition. protests have happened. The press has been censored at times. Yet oddly enough, the people seem to live peacefully as long as you stay clear of politics. I once saw a woman grilling bread near town say, "Here, we talk about life, not about politicians." And she was right. Tourists aren't harassed, services continue as usual, restaurants stay open late, and the sea keeps singing its eternal song. As for safety, I found Nicaragua remarkably safe when it comes to everyday crime. Petty theft happens, but it's rare. I walked through the streets of Granada at night and saw nothing but kids heading home from school echoing laughter in the alleys. Locals take care of the bridges. They take care of foreign guests, because here, when a guest arrives, it's as if a friend has come home. The scenery here is impossible to resist. Trekking up Cerro Negro volcano, watching the sunset on a salty, windswept beach, or surfing, even if you've never mastered your balance. I once walked barefoot across the hot sand, watching the crimson sun fall into the ocean, and asked myself, is there ever a moment in life when you feel like it's just you and nature? In Nicaragua, I found the answer. The costs and lifestyle? No need to list every item there as light as breath. A full meal, a small wooden-scented room, and a life that feels complete. I spent about $500 per month, housing, food, internet, and a few adventures to volcanoes or the sea included. Think that's expensive? Think again. One sushi dinner in the US can cost nearly $50. If you've ever been here, share your story. That would be wonderful. And if you haven't stepped foot here yet, comment the number 3 so I know how many people love this place like you do. Like and subscribe so we can discover new lands together. But if what you truly seek is a peace so deep, you forget you ever used to worry, then come with me to Laos. 2. Laos, the dreamland where time sleeps beside the Mekong River. Dear friend, imagine a land where the gentle splash-splash of flowing water blends with the deep om-om of temple chants, like a lullaby guiding you into a peaceful dream. That is Laos, the dreamland, where time seems to stand still, where lush nature and warm, gentle smiles make you want to leave everything behind and live slowly. Let's begin this journey to Laos, a unique retirement haven, completely different from Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, or Nicaragua. Prepare to be enchanted by its serene beauty and the story of a retiree who found their own lazy paradise here. Let's start with money, because that's what everyone wonders about. Laos is where you can live like a meditating king on a monk's budget. A one-bedroom apartment in Vientiane or Luang Prabang costs just $200, $300 a month. In the countryside, you can rent a house for just $100. A steaming bowl of lao pho khao soi is around $2. Fresh vegetables, sticky rice, river fish, $150, $200 a month. Tuk-tuk rides are $1. Internet is $30 a month. A beer lao by the river? Only $1. With just $500 to $700 per month, you can live comfortably sipping coffee, watching sunsets over the Mekong. Laos isn't as fully equipped as Bali, or as lively as Nicaragua. It's simply a tranquilizer for the soul. Laos is a living painting, lush, green, and deeply poetic. The Mekong drifts lazily past misty hills, like a lullaby written in water. Luang Prabang, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, glows with golden temples like Wat Sieng Thong, the turquoise waters of Kwangsi Falls, the mysterious caves of Vang Vieng, the endless rice fields. They all blend into one serene, untouched poem. Laos has a beauty that's unlike the grand majesty of Nepal or the dazzling vibrance of Sri Lanka. Miss Linda, a retired nurse from Australia, decided to spend her golden years in Luang Prabang after watching a video of Kwangsi Falls. She rented a wooden riverside home and raised chickens, but these Lao chickens turned out to be little ninja escape artists. Every morning, she'd chase them into the neighbor's yard, yelling, "Get back here, you little feathered devils!" The village kids loved it and joined in the chase. And soon, Miss Linda became the town's favorite chicken hero. Now she lives happily by the Mekong, hosting BBQs and telling stories to the entire village. Laos ranks 49th on the Global Peace Index, with low crime rates and a sense of safety so strong you can leave your bike outside unattended. While there's no official retirement visa, long-term tourist visas or special purpose visas can let you stay extended periods. Healthcare infrastructure is basic, but neighboring Thailand offers excellent medical support. If you're dreaming of a peaceful retreat, drop a comment, Laos. I'm coming. Have you ever been to Laos? Share your thoughts or your most unforgettable moment below. Laos is calling slow down, breathe out, and rediscover who you really are. 1. Indonesia. The archipelago of sunrises, worth a lifetime. Have you ever imagined waking up to the sound of gentle ocean waves whoosh whoosh, and the rich aroma of Bali coffee wafting from a small balcony where sunlight pours golden warmth onto every palm leaf? That's not a dream, it's just a regular morning in Indonesia, a tropical paradise that's easy to live in and surprisingly affordable. If Nepal teaches you to slow down, and Laos leads you into stillness, then Indonesia helps you live deeply, fully, and honestly with a smile on your face and money still in your pocket. Cost of living. A sun-kissed life for just $15 a day. Imagine spending less than $15 a day and still renting a cozy home, eating your fill, moving around freely, and enjoying life with ease. In Bali or Yogyakarta, this is more than possible. A private, furnished room with a garden and balcony can cost as little as $200 a month. Have breakfast with nasi goreng, $1.50. Sip local Robusta coffee, $1. Lunch on a colorful plate of gado-gado, $2. And finish your day with grilled fish by the beach, $3. A full day of meals for under $8. A monthly scooter rental costs about $40. And filling the tank feels like $1,995 less than $2 for a full tank. Fiber optic internet in places like Ubud or Bandung is only $20. Month enough for video calls with the grandkids back in the US or to live stream your morning yoga class. With a total monthly spend of around $400, $500. You're not just surviving, you're thriving learning to make batik, watching traditional dance performances, or simply lying back and listening to the waves. Compared to Laos or Sri Lanka, Indonesia excels in modern comfort and infrastructure, yet it still holds on to the soulful charm of Southeast Asia. Magical beauty, where nature composes symphonies. If there's a place where nature poured its entire soul into a masterpiece, it's Indonesia. This archipelago stretches like a silk ribbon from volcanoes to sapphire seas, from the rice terraces of Bali to Lake Toba in the heart of Sumatra, each scene like a slow-motion film etched into your memory. Sitting on Kuta Beach at sunset, with the sky painted in shades of orange and red, you'll feel time pause just for you to breathe. Ubud, in particular, isn't just a cultural capital, it's a healing sanctuary. With traditional spas, meditation by waterfalls, and a vibrant community of artist expats. It's a place where your soul finds its rhythm again. If Sri Lanka is the Buddhist island of peace, then Indonesia is the rare crossroads of Hinduism, Islam, and sacred nature, a blend that enchants and uplifts. Easy to live, easy to love, easy to stay long-term. Indonesia isn't just beautiful, it's practical. For US citizens, the 30-day visa is free, and the B211 Ampere visa gives you 60 days with easy extensions up to 180 days. In 2025, the government is pushing forward with retirement and digital nomad visas, opening the door to legal long-term stays with foreign income. The Global Peace Index ranks Indonesia around mid-level, positions 50-60, but areas like Bali, Lombok, or Flores are very safe. Crime is low, locals are gentle, and the culture embraces foreigners with warmth. Major cities offer decent healthcare, and Bali itself has several internationally accredited hospitals. Do you dare to live a life that's truly worth it? If you ever thought retirement meant boredom, Indonesia will make you think again. The sunrise is calling. Can you hear it? If you've been to Indonesia, share your most beautiful moment in the comments. And if you haven't yet, type, Indonesia, I'm coming. You've just walked through 5 lands, not just places on a map, but 5 escapes. 5 open doors. 5 chances at the life you truly deserve. Life doesn't wait, Happiness doesn't knock. And freedom? It was never free. But now, you know, it costs far less than you ever imagined. The only question left is, will you stand still or take the first step? Comment below right now. I choose to live fully, or simply type the name of the country you want to visit first. And if this video touched your heart, don't hesitate to leave a like, share it, or hit subscribe, because maybe, just maybe, a friend of yours is also searching for the exit you just found today. Remember, not everyone is born into the place they're meant to live, but everyone can choose the place they truly belong.